Hi, in this video, we are going to be going over creating multiple labels for overseas military base, so an APO, FPO, or DPO. I am logged in. You can see my name in the upper left-hand corner. The tools automatically bring you to your single shipping tool, so the create a single label. So I can go over to create multiple labels up here by clicking on the words, or I can go underneath my name and I can go all the way down to create multiple labels. I want to point out that our tools let you track military shipments all the way to the base through the My Tracking up here, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to come down and I'm going to create multiple labels. Okay, when my tool comes up, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click that I'm shipping to an APO, FPO, or DPO. And what you'll see is I now have customs information here because that's required for overseas shipping. So we are going to start from the top and we're going to create some labels. I've already said we're going to the APO, FPO, DPO. We have a date. This is a date that I'm going to drop those labels off. I can predate this up to 7 days in advance, and I can print labels up to that point in time. So if I want to print out and I want to check out and print now, I can put up to 7 days ahead of here. If I want to just save this order and continue to work on it until I'm ready to check out, I can do that too. Just make sure that this date is the date that you're going to drop them off at the post office before you check out. That being said, my return address is automatically showing here because I have it defaulted in my address book. You can use a download template. I think it's just as easy to use the tool. So I'm actually going to show you that. We have a different video that will step you through this process. So I'm going to add a new package, and you're going to notice that this is the information that's required for the label. I've got my return address here, the address I'm shipping to, package information, and customs information. So each one of these things is required to create that label. I'm going to actually utilize my address book. So if I click on this, I can pick my military service member, and all my addressing is done for that. I have two things that I can do for a package. I can use an APO, FPO flat rate box or medium box to send this, or I can put my own dimensions in. I'm going to actually do my own dimensions, and I'm going to pick that because out of the Midwest, using your own boxes actually costs a little bit less money. West Coast generally is flat rate boxes. Same thing with south of Tampa. Flat rates are going to be your best option. Everywhere else, you can try the your own dimensions in your own box. A lot of people use a 12 by 12 by 6 box because it's the same dimensions as a flat rate, but can cost a lot less. In the Northeast area, you'll have the opportunity to use something that's called Parcel Select, and I'll show you how to flip to see those. So as long as my box is under 20 pounds, the brown box is going to be a better option for me. Sometimes it can still be a better option if you're over. So you can just use the tools to compare your rates, and I'll show you how to do that. So maybe I'm going to say there's 10 pounds in here. All right. Now it comes for the customs. I'm going to enter my description of my items. So I might have Oreos in here, and maybe I have 3 boxes at $3. I can continue to add items. Maybe I have black socks. And I got 2 pairs at $2. I can add up to 5 items to print on one label. If I have additionals, a second label will spool out, and both need to go onto the box because the second is going to be additional customs items. It's just a list of more stuff that's in your box for disclosure. Okay, if I click this button here, I can see what's restricted at this base, and that will tell me what I can't send. And if I do send stuff, it could trigger a box to be sent back. So you don't want to send anything that's restricted. If you want to see what's restricted ahead of time, you can come down here to the footer and look in this military restrictions. Just put your zip code in there and it will give you information. So back up to the template, I have the ability to copy labels out of this. So let's say I'm sending multiple packages to Sam. I can say, hey, I'm sending Sam 3 boxes. Copy that. And all my information is in here. And maybe my weights are different, or maybe my customs are different. I can click this edit all up here. This row up here controls the entire label table. So maybe my box weight in here is 15 pounds, and maybe Sam's not getting socks. I can just take those off, and maybe he's getting books instead. Some puzzles. Maybe he's getting 4 of those at $2 a piece. Okay, so I can make any edits that I want and continue to come down here. Once I save all of these, I can come back here Let me scroll down. There's 2 scroll bars here. So I'm going to scroll down because I've got these same actions at the top and bottom. So I'm going to save all. Notice my icons went green here and it tells me that it's saved. I have the ability from here to copy another row if I want to, or I can change out my address so I can pick somebody else and put that person in here. And then I'm going to delete, I can delete single rows. So I can delete a row here. You can kind of scroll over these to see what they do. So if you want to add media mail stuff, if you just got books, you can use that. If I have wanting to add insurance, I can do that here, but you can just scroll through those to see what those are. I can also delete a range. So I've got 3 packages in here. If I click this delete with the X in front of it, I can delete packages number 2 through 3. Okay. Then I'm just going to show you another way that we have to copy. What if you have different packages that you're sending to different people? You can use this copy with a different address feature, and it will pull up to your address book, and you can pick the different people that you have to send packages to and how many packages you're wanting to send to each person, and then add those to the bulk shipping tool. Okay. You can save all again. They're all saved in there. You can get a box count so you can see how many people you're shipping to, how many boxes you have for each one. You can do this check addresses. The check addresses is a pretty cool feature. Let me just change one of these out. I'm going to put something incorrect in here. So I'm just going to say that this one is an APO. And if I click check addresses, you're going to see it's going to tell me that it's going to say, oh, are you sure this is an APO? We might suggest that it might be an FPO. And we actually check Google, a third-party software, USPS's database, and everything that ships to our tools. So if you ever see this come up, highly recommend that you check with whoever submitted an address to you, or just double check your address to make sure it's correct. I can submit the address change here, or I can use the address change here and submit it to my address book. Okay, so if I do that, it's going to save to my address book. I'm going to go ahead, got 7 packages. I'm going to delete a few packages here. I'm going to do 3 through 6. And I'm going to leave myself 2 packages, and I'm going to check out so you can see what happens with the labels. So I'm just going to come down here. I'm going to refresh all my rates. So this is going to call to the carriers, and it's going to let me know how much my packages are based on the information that I have entered here. Okay, so my boxes are $8.95. I have a price in. I can say I'm not shipping any restricted items. I can come down here and I can pay with my card on file. If it's your first time, you'll put your credit card information in and it will process. So now it's generating my labels. So it's going ahead and it's putting my return address information, my customs information, my recipient information. It's tying it all into a barcode so that when I go to USPS to drop those packages off or have them picked up, I'm set with everything that I need in that scan code. Now that my labels are complete, I can see that they were successful and I have the ability to download the labels and manifest. So if I click here to download the manifest, this is a scan code that I'm going to present to USPS. So whether I have 1 or 500 labels, it doesn't matter. That scan is done and they're all checked in with the carrier. Then I can also download the labels. When I click download the labels, I'm able to print those off and put those on each one of the boxes. And that's it. Let us know if you have questions. We're happy to help. Thanks.